Right, welcome to the Legged Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
Right, this week again, 15% off Monterex. Go to the website, 15% off, cannot complain. Nice one again for supporting the pod, Monterex. We've also teamed up with BetMate this week, and we're going to have a little play on the Liverpool game.
Aye.
So it's a £3 buy-in, minimum of £100, and all you've got to do is pick the best 7 players on that pitch, whether it's Liverpool, whether it's Watford. Pick a 7-a-side team that you think are going to perform the best. That's with tackles, goals, assists. Pick a 7-a-side team, and then the top 5 players win a percentage of the pot. It's a good laugh.
Oh, mate, it's great fun. We've done it a couple of times now, obviously, since the lads come to us and stuff. And it's really good fun. I think it's a bit like, sort of, if you're in a pub with your mates and you're all just like having a prediction on the game, you know, for £3. There is free pots as well that people can play.
Yeah, big free pot. I think paying £100.
Paying £100, yeah. So you can play for nothing if you want. But obviously our league's £3. And it's just fun because obviously everyone has a different opinion on who's going to be, you know, who's going to score, who's going to play well. You get points for good things like the likes of interceptions, you know, yellow cards, red cards, all that stuff. So, and it's really interactive. The leaderboards up and down.
Chops and why I like it, don't get me wrong, the free game is great. I'll be definitely having a go with that. But the £3 one, ideally it'd be great to get a few of the kind of regular names on the Legged podcast coming up on the leaderboard. So have a go. We'll put a link in the bio, BetMate, and go and check it out. Right, I'm excited, lad, to do this. My favourite part of the week anyway. But we had such a belter weekend last weekend, and the international break's over, the footy's back.
Yeah, it feels normal.
So back to talking about what was happening last weekend with an unbelievable weekend of boxing, and then obviously footy's back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously one place to start in last week. Whatever we had to do, like.
Yeah, right, we did. And I was bossed to see, by the way, so many people who like the podcast at the bet and actually see people in person. I think I said to a few people we spoke to, it's so hard interacting with people on social media. So to actually come to and see people and have a beer with them, it was great. So yeah, boss to everyone who we had a chat about the pod with.
You know, with 2 lads, we were there for like half an hour, weren't we? We were just chopping the breeze, like. But
I don't know whether you were more impressed with Luke Willis's performance or me going the bar and getting us beers so quick.
Yeah, that was wrong. So, for context, I'm in the bar. How deep am I in that bar?
It's about 50 deep.
I'm at least 50 deep. Obviously, Granty pulls the old, I've got a sore leg trick. And I said to him, where you going? So I'm stood in the bar. I said, all right, he's got off. I'll just buy 2 beers and hope for the best. And then he just comes from round the corner out of nowhere, some woman like tapping his back.
I just said to the poor girl, I just said, sorry to be rude, I'm not trying to give it the big one, but I've only got one leg, it's really sore. I don't think I can stand in that queue for, half an hour. And she went, yeah, come with me. Give me 2 beers. And
no problem jogging off. She was like, what?
No,
I thought your leg was sore.
I was going, listen, perks of having one leg. You've got to give me that, lad. Mate, Luke Willis, probably start there. We had him on the pod.
Yeah.
He was saying on the pod, listen, just give me a chance. Just give me a chance. I'll show what I can do. Tony Bellew's believed in him. Give him a chance. And fucking hell did he take it?
Oh, he was brilliant, money from start to finish, really. I mean, I was quite nervous because you are when you've got like a person.
It's an invested interest in it, yeah.
Like, and obviously for him, if he'd have lost that, Eddie would have easily gone, we've had Luke on, he couldn't cut it, sort of thing, and then he's back to the small halls, back to, probably having to go and get a job and stuff. Hopefully on the back of that performance, he at least gets someone with a bit of interest in him. Go and give him a couple of fights or something. Because he was levels above Ryan Charlton, who was signed to match him anyway. I
think me and you, it to me anyway, it's shone through how much you know about boxing compared to me, because I was like, oh shit, no, fucking hell, God, so nervous. And you were just quite like, nah, lad, he's flying through this. And we had a few questions, people saying about the, how much of a farce the points were on the scorecards. And I'll be honest, I thought it was quite close, but you were fairly confident that it was.
I think Luke, once he got into a rhythm, he was sort of only allowing Ryan Charlton to do what Luke wanted him to do, basically. He would let him get close, but he was never hurting him. And then once he passed that chin test, because he got absolutely one square on the whiskers, like.
That's what I mean. When that was happening, I was like, oh lad, he's fucked. He's fucked.
And he passed it with flying colours, because everyone can say they've got a great chin and never get dropped in sparring and all that stuff, but until someone does whack it, I'm guessing, you can only pass that when it happens, and he passed it, and then after that he just ran away with it. But I watched it back, and the 2 commentators, Chris Lloyd, Darren Barker, they both had it very wide. They were surprised at how close it was as well, but he got a point deducted for holding.
Oh, that pissed me off, that.
No, there wasn't even any warnings or anything, but You know, he won well. No one will ever remember the scorecards. You know, the only thing they remember is Luke won. And hopefully Eddie or another promoter just gives him a shot.
Takes note. Yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? We also had the other big fight, obviously Beefy. Brilliant.
No, mate, it,
what an atmosphere.
Top to bottom, it was ridiculous. Obviously, we had the Ted Cheeseman fight, which let us down for a bit of a big bet, but that was like a fight of the year contender.
My Twitter messages the next day was like, Lad Jordan's nailed fucking every bet here. I was like, I know. Fucking.
Well, we nailed Jamie Mitchell, the underdog, to beat Shannon Courtney, so that was nice. She was 5-1, big outsider. So that was good. And then we had obviously Luke, and then rolled into Smith.
Luke was the underdog as well.
Yeah, Luke was crazy. Well, he was the underdog, and then he kept getting backed in. But you know, on the off, he was still 2-1 on points, which we put up, and it seems very, very big now, doesn't it, when you watch the fight?
Oh. Well, my big bet for the weekend was I had Fury, Liam Smith, and Luke. So once Luke come in, I was like, that was the biggest price. I was like, right, come on. I think I got 5-2 might have been, but just short of that. So yeah, it ends up being a good night. But
then the main event, as you say, what a reception. I mean, Fowler got booed in.
Liam's ring walk was good, wasn't it?
Ridiculous, wasn't it?
Jamie Webster singing it and then
cut to his usual one. But then, I mean, with the graphics and the way the zone do it, it's quite grand anyway, isn't it? And then obviously he's on like that elevated ramp sort of thing. It's no longer like walking through the crowd. So it's like a concert, wasn't it? Yeah,
brilliant. Properly enjoyed it. It got mad a little bit. I seen on the next few days with like fighting and stuff like that. But you can only judge it on what you experienced. And I had a great night. Met some boss people.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get people who can't handle the rail. And, you know, operationally, they've probably got to do better. But, you know, it's always going to happen whether you're in Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, wherever you go, it's going to happen. But, yeah, so we had an absolutely great night. The main event, you know, lived up to it. Again, we were... you know, the way Fowler come out, he was sharp as anything, wasn't
he? Yeah, and again, he seemed to have rocked Liam as well. You know, he caught him crisp a few times, but I think what got said by you especially, and, you know, most people think throughout the week, or people in the know anyway in boxing, was it's levels.
I think the thing with Fowler is, I think the weight kills him anyway. I think he's already alluded this week that he's going to look to move up in weight. So he comes out and he does fly out the gates, and he looks very sharp, and he looks good because he is good. But then once he hit Liam and he didn't get rid of him, it's sort of like that. I don't know what it's like. The sort of fight just drains out of him. Then, you know, he's like, well, I've hit him now.
Well, I think how demoralising must that be? Yeah, when you've hit someone with everything you've got and they're still coming forward.
He caught him with some clean shots, and I think Liam said he wasn't there, but I definitely think he felt a few of them. And then you sort of see Fowler dwindle, and then Liam puts him down, and then it's just curtains from there on, obviously. But I think Fowler walks out with more credit than he walked in with, which is, you know, good, because you know, he was booed into the ring, let's be honest, by most of the Accaa Arena.
The M&S Bank Arena.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Like, everyone was calling it the Accaa Arena, wasn't he? But yeah, he was like, you know, he's booed in. He got a cheer on the way out, but you know, his career's no worse than it was last week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. At the end of the day,
he stepped up against someone who's much better than him right now, and he lost. So what? Do you know what I mean? I think that gets repaid sometimes as well by the likes of Eddie, and they'd be like, I'll give him an opportunity because, you know, he took an opportunity. Okay, it didn't pay off, but I think it's worse if you're sitting there and you're like, I don't quite want to do that fight. I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And so Fowler probably come back maybe at middleweight, probably get a decent fight. Might be a harder fight than he would have got if he didn't get beat, but you know, he's still got a chance to go and do something in his career, and as he said, bought his kid in house. So
yeah,
that's all about.
We were lucky enough to be sitting with the McGrail family. So Peter, we were sitting with Peter after he won his fight. He just looks like an exciting prospect. Yeah,
I mean, everything that he done as an amateur, come out in that ring, and I said he fought a good lad in his first fight, Ed Harrison. Like, he is a journeyman by trade, but he's not.
Well, you were saying he's like your 6th, 7th type fight, isn't
he? He's not. He's took plenty of O's, like lads who are 4-0 and 5-0, and he's given them the first defeat because, you know, I know there's this crazy sort of casual opinion that journeymen are crap. They're not crap. They just, you know, most of them just never got a break, or, you know, weren't earning money, so they went in the away corner. And Ed Harrison's probably one of them. You know, he probably would never be a world champion, but his way of getting paid is being in the away corner. You know, he gave Peter plenty times when Peter wasn't quite switched on. He caught him and stuff. And as we spoke to Peter after, didn't we? And saying, mate, you learned so much from them 6 rounds that you just got under your belt. And he's been fighting elite amateurs for a long time now, so hopefully they move him quite quick, and his reception as well was crazy.
Really good, wasn't it? Considering it was his first pro fight, I was like, wow.
Dancing in the moonlight, can't see in the air. But yeah, so hopefully, Eddie gets behind him a little bit and we can keep coming back to Liverpool.
Yeah. Anything else in the Echo that we needed to touch on there?
No, I think it was all, some of the fights were obviously great. One day Kieran Conway beat JJ Metcalf, which is obviously a Scouser who got beat, but another close fight. I think top to bottom it was a great card, and then obviously over to Vegas. I
was lucky, mate, to we both went to Hilton after it, had a few beers, had a good laugh with Carragher, he was on form. And then Rooney was in there. Yeah, you got off just before Rooney come, and speaking to him about 10 or 15 minutes. He was absolutely bladdered, but it was, I sort of
I left, and when I'm meant to have left, walked out, and then I wasn't, and I seen him sort of coming in, and I was like, Wayne Rooney, do you know what I mean?
I still got that thing of fucking hell, it's Wayne Rooney.
There's only so many people in the world, aren't there, when it's fucking hell.
Yeah.
Because obviously Carragher was there, but he got us for a lot of selfies and stuff. But it's not like he's a normal fella, isn't he? To go to his mates and stuff like that, and he comes across that way. But it's like Rooney, he's just different level.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant, really good night.
But it was full of the arena and stuff was full of all boxing legends, football legends. It was just full of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, so then we said our goodbyes. I went to bed, woke up the next morning to then a nice little win in my betting account because Tyson Fury put on a show.
Absolute, mate, one for the ages, that.
Probably one of the best fights I reckon possibly ever seen.
Ridiculous, wasn't it? Wilder, talking about Fowler coming out with some credit. Wilder does as well because...
Does he though?
Yeah, but not after when he gives it...
Performance-wise, maybe, but...
I'm not shaking hand, that's all rubbish, but, he showed something that people probably didn't think he had. He was gone for a long time. And obviously he hit Fury. Have you seen that clip when he hits Fury and so you see the momentum go down Fury's back? Have you seen it?
No.
So when he drops Fury, it's like slow mode. So when the punch hits Fury here, his back, it looks like fat, but it's like you see it reverberate down his back.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. And Al Fury got up. We say that all the time.
It's mad,
that knocks 99.9% of the population clean out.
Yeah.
Because they went like that with that hand right the way through.
You know what's mad to think, and I can't comprehend it, I've never had a boxing fight in my life, but you get cracked, whatever, yeah. You're getting cracked by someone who's 6'9". Or 6'7", is he? Sorry, 6'9", I think.
Not far off.
And he's nearly 20 stone, whatever he is. It's
not that, he's got he's got Hall of Fame power. People will say, he's crap boxing now, but his power will be remembered forevermore. What he's hit people with less than that, and
it's madness.
Them clean out.
It is madness. I think it'd kill me. It would genuinely kill me.
Have you seen that thing where he punches the mascot Wilder?
Yeah.
He doesn't know there's anyone in there. He said, I didn't realise it was a real person.
What did he think it was?
I don't know, but he absolutely
yeah. Oh yeah, he goes for it, doesn't he? Yeah.
Fellas on the floor shaking their head.
Oh no, I think it's like me and you. We're dead.
Mate, 100%. Especially if you're there.
Yeah.
At least some serious brain damage. But Fury obviously stumbles a bit. You see his hair goes down, gets back up, gets dropped again, gets back up. But everyone's saying Fury's got this chin. I don't actually think it's his chin. It's just heart. I think. I don't even know what's the right word for it. It's like that. He just will not give in, no matter what.
Do you reckon it is like the gypsy kind of thing in him and stuff? That fighting.
It's unnatural, because. He's not ripped to death and all that. He's not this big, Did
you see the photo with him in Vegas and he's in shorts?
Prime athlete, yeah. Tight ones.
Yeah.
But he's not like this prime athlete, so it's got to be desire, hasn't it? It's got to be I'm not staying down no matter what.
I didn't like Wilder after it though, and obviously not shaking his hand. And also I seen a clip come up and it was a bit of a remix of every time he said he wants to kill someone and stuff. And you see that, and then you add that the fact that he didn't show the humility and say the better man won afterwards and stuff, and didn't want to shake his hand. And I think, hell mate, come on. It's no shame in losing to Tyson Fury, at least, I
think that's what it is. But he's got through his whole career of being, this absolute wrecking machine that whatever he hits falls over and doesn't get back up. So I guess his ego's been absolutely obliterated, hasn't it? And I reckon, with time passes, he'll probably regret the way he acted, as we all do. We all do things and then regret them.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But, in the heat of the moment, he made the wrong decision, but... he'll never be the same fighter now, because...
Where do you think his career goes now?
It's tough, innit? Because there'll always be fights for him because he's box office, isn't he? It went wild the fights next time people are watching. That's just because the reason most people watch boxing is to see knockouts. You know, you watch sometimes you watch amazing boxing and people go, crap this. But most people want to see the knockouts, so you'll always get that with him. But you know, the Joshua fight's still there, I think, after Usyk. Dillian White, maybe, someone like that. But you know, I think his time at the top of the tree is over because he'll never beat Tyson Fury. Just will not beat him, and simple as that.
So then the next question: where does Tyson Fury go next?
I think he might retire. You know.
Well, you said that to me on text, and I was like, nah. And then I watched it back, and I was like, actually, yeah, you know what? He seems. But I'm putting that down to he's just, you know, he's had a hard training camp. It's been interrupted. He's just had a little baby who was sick. He's obviously got some big hits. It took a lot out of him. Hopefully, just in the heat of the moment, he just seemed a little bit, you know, not dejected, it's the wrong word, but a little bit.
Yeah, I think when he sits down, obviously, even if Joshua beats Usyk, which he won't, that fight's never as big.
No, he's not.
He can't, unless he takes a bat or something. But they can't. That fight's never as big as it was 6 months ago, no matter what now. So I think he knows that. Is he going to fight Dillian White? Does anyone want to see that, really? And even Usyk, like, obviously the belts mean a lot, but at his point, do all them belts actually mean anything? Do you know what I mean? He's got all the money, he's won every belt that he can win all across time. Like,
he always seems to me come across as the lineal. Like
that's what I mean. But when he dethroned Klitschko, he was, and then he has to break up all the belts because of like stuff that happened with him, and then went and won it again. And I think if you sat Fury and Usyk down, I don't think either would be like, oh, I really want that fight, because it's not going to be a great fight. They're just two boxers. You know, Fury's massive. Usyk has got the skills to beat him, but maybe not the size. There's not going to be a knockout there.
It doesn't seem conducive to
it's just not there. Like, you know, I can't see them bad mouthing each other because of the characters they are. I don't know. I don't think that fight get either of the juices going, and I don't think the Joshua fight.
I think to a fan, it doesn't for me really either.
Well, if you announce Fury Usyk, people like me would be like, yeah, well, like the intricacies of it, but it doesn't sell. Like a unified, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world fight should sell. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not Joshua, is it?
No.
And I think, you know, Joshua and him, you know, it's not going to happen, but it's never going to be as big even if it does happen. So what's he got to prove? What's he got to go and do? And I think, you know, he was good the other night, and he was a bully, but he didn't look at his like fluid best. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's more conscious of that in terms of like, if Fury went out now, you know, you get all the pure. He probably doesn't want to go out, you know, a little bit over the hill, get stopped by someone he should never get stopped by or something like that. So I think he's at the top of the tree. Probably the best way to bow it.
Yeah.
But money talks, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So yeah, that was last weekend, done and dusted. Anything else going last weekend in the sporting world?
No, just straight into this weekend now. Footy's back in it. It's Champions Day at Ascot.
Yeah, we've had a few messages about the old dragon symbol.
So, obviously, Champions Day, the jumps are starting again now. So, obviously, you got Cheltenham next week, Aintree, all the proper, what I would call proper racing starts. So, yeah, Champions Day is just essentially the champions of the season. And
Are we going on him again?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you? Yeah.
100% because
I feel like he's now an ex-girlfriend, mate, who I see out now and again, and I end up going and banging it, and I shouldn't, and I'm like, what the fuck have I done that for?
But
that's what dragon symbol is to me at the moment. Yeah, I know I'm going to regret it the next day.
Yeah, but for them 48 seconds, it's just unbelievable.
You think this could be amazing, and then
we're relighting the fire, we're back.
And then, yeah.
But what if he wins? That's what I say.
That's the hope, innit?
Oh, mate. So if he's had the season he's had, obviously started brilliantly, you know, performing out of his skin, dipped a little bit, dipped again, and now he's back. He had a good little break.
I'm going to have to now.
It would be him, and it would be the story of us following Dragon Symbol for him to win on Champions Day, and then see where it goes.
Every fella, every bet on this will be thinking of every expert when they're handing the money over.
48 fucking seconds. But yeah, 9-2. I think he is second favourite.
9-2, yeah.
They know he's going to get it one day. He's going to hit it, and if he wins here, what a season it would have been.
Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. You've sold me. I'm jumping on it.
I'm a great salesman, you know.
Mate, it didn't take much to sell that to me, by the way.
If I could have a job of just selling betting, it would be great.
Oh, God. Yeah, so there's that going on. Did you see as well, before we go on the footy, because it's quite a lot of footy to touch on, Emma Raducanu,
Yeah.
she got beat in the first round.
Ultimate come down.
Fucking won the US Open, fucked the training off and gets beat in the first round. I mean, I'm sure it's got nothing to do with the new trainer and stuff, but that is a
Might
big,
be.
you know...
That's 200 million in the bank. Like, I'm not chasing that backhand.
It's
Fuck off.
It's probably got something to do with that, hasn't it? Yeah.
Just saying up, like, what's the point? The winner of that tournament, like 200 grand or something, she's like, fuck that.
I do, mate, and it's more of a deeper podcast to go into rather than like kind of light Friday Sportcast, but I do find it fascinating to keep that drive going when you've got money in the bank. That is what, you know, your Floyd Mayweathers, and I think you've seen it with Conor, it's gone maybe the other way, you could argue, to have that drive.
That's why
to
they
keep
say,
going.
You know, if you listen to people who end up successful in life, that's why they say don't let money be the end goal, because it never ends. Do you know what I mean? If your goal is to be rich, you're gonna fuck up, because rich never ends.
No.
Once you get 1, you want 10. Once you get 10, you want 20. Once you get 20, you want 40.
And you've seen it with the Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson thing. It's like, who can go first? He had a day planned, and the other one done it like 10 days earlier or something. It's like this money thing, if I can do it quicker, and it's like...
Whereas if your end goal is, you know, whether it be like, it could be retirement, or, you know, going to somewhere, or, you know, not something that you can count.
Yeah.
Should be time for everyone, but not something you can count, because if you can count it, means it never ever ends.
No, totally, mate. I'm just trying to... We had some belter questions, by the way, so I'm just trying to go through, look at the non-footy ones first, before we... in fact, just stick on boxing for a second. Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. We're not far off, apparently.
Yeah, apparently it's on.
I'd feel more pressured if I was bloody Tommy Fury to let the Fury name down than I would be with anything else.
If he gets beat by Jake Paul...
That's what I mean, his brother.
But when you look on the surface of it, though, you know, everyone says he's a boxer. He's only had a handful of fights himself. He had no amateur career. Obviously, he's grew up with the Furies and stuff like that, but he doesn't look like one of them, does he?
Have they all got the same mum and dads, have they?
I don't know the intricacies of it, but he's like this chiseled model who was on Love Island, wasn't he?
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to take, yeah.
And
I'd be more scared of Tyson having a go at me for bringing his name into disrepute.
It'll be funny, because I'm guessing Tyson will go along to the press conference and he'll just absolutely abuse them two brothers, won't he? But that'll be the funny bit. But
yeah.
If he gets beat, you know, this whole circus carries on, doesn't it? I just have to get Tyson Fury. Why can't he do that? Retire and just say, right, Jake Paul, Logan Paul at the same time. I'm gonna batter you.
And one last one on the boxing. What's the bet in the Rhea Jez Smith fight?
Oh yeah, so
because you apparently done a cryptic tweet.
Yeah, I was just waiting to get my own money on. But so Brad Rhea's fighting this weekend on. So Sky are doing these new shows with boxer. The first one was the other week. It was okay, but so the card features like Hughie Fury, Savannah Marshall, Chris Eubank, all them, but Lewis Ritson. But Brad Rhea's a lad who's 10-0 from Manchester. Someone I rate dead really highly. Fighting Jez Smith, another lad who's, you know, Jez Smith's a bit of like a road warrior. He'll sort of just, I think he's 13-3-ish record. But he took this on 2 weeks' notice. He's a game lad, you know what I mean? And sometimes he'll come in and win, other times he won't. But he's had 2 weeks' notice for this. He's in his 3 defeats, he's had 3 knockouts. Brad Rhea hits really hard. And I think he was 2-1 for the stoppage earlier in the week. It's been backed in now. So, yeah, the bet is Brad Rhea by stoppage. KO, TKO. But, yeah, it's an 8-rounder, which, you know, makes a bit of a squeaky bum time. But I think Brad will get it done. Get it done well.
On that note, it's worth just mentioning one little idea me and Jordan have got, as we do like having a little flutter. Obviously, always bet responsibly and all that goes without saying. We are going to do another show where we just speak solely on gambling, betting tips, go into the analysis and our thinking behind it. It will be a kind of premium show on Patreon, because I know a lot of people do message us about betting. So if you would be interested in paying an extra few quid a month and having a kind of detailed half-an-hour show, whatever it may be, of me and Jordan giving our tips and our fancies and staking plans and tips and advice, then let us know if you'd be interested in it, because it's something me and Jordan have been speaking about and we quite like the idea of it, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the plan for the podcast in general is, you know, to try and sort of boost Patreon a bit so that we can take the whole thing to the next level. Obviously, we love doing this, and this will continue in the same vein of like picks and stuff like that. But on there, I think, as we spoke about, it'll just be more in depth. It'll be why we're betting on them. Fight research, footy research, whatever. There'll be like
staking plans, things like that, which people maybe might not be aware of.
And little bonus stuff like that, sort of we've both learned over the years in terms of managing your money and not throwing 100 quid on because you think it's going to win. Just stuff, just a bit more obviously in depth, and there'll be like unit stakes and stuff like that. It'll be good, but we need enough people to be interested in it, and obviously interested in paying Patreon, which is obviously where we want to drive people.
Yeah, so we're going to have loads more shows out. So if you are wanting the kind of betting show, then drop a little DM to us so we can we know that the appetite's there. On to footy really, mate, to kind of round it off with that. In fact, before we go on to footy, Australia in general just seems fucked at the moment with COVID. I don't even want to speak about that, but golf's Australian Open's been cancelled. It's not meant to be on until, I don't know when it was meant to be, but they've cancelled it. Australia just seems fucked at the moment.
Like a story, and like a storybook, but
God, it's mad.
Yeah, I think that won't be the last of things getting cancelled. And interestingly, from that part of the world, so in the UFC, there's a fighter called Dan Hooker. I think he's actually from New Zealand, but that's that part of the world. So he was in Vegas for a fight, and they basically didn't want to let him go. He landed there on the Friday, fought Saturday. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago.
I remember, yeah.
So now he stayed in Vegas because he has to go home and quarantine, and now he's got another fight at short notice, but he's like having to like stay in Vegas because he can't go Vegas out. He has to then quarantine for like 6 weeks away from his family, then go see his family, then obviously fly back for a fight. So he's just, and I think that whole city kickboxing team, which is like Israel Adesanya and stuff like that, big names, I don't know how far down the line they are, but they're talking about relocating. So taking
that bad, yeah.
Obviously New Zealand's like premium sort of martial arts team are looking at relocating, whether that be to the PI in Vegas or the likes of Colorado, somewhere like that.
Wow.
Just because of how ridiculous in that part it is in the world.
Also, you said then, sticking on COVID for a second, the NBA player.
Yeah. Irving is his name, yeah. So he can't play.
He's obviously didn't want to get vaccinated, and now they're saying he can't play. I think
his choice is not to get vaccinated, which is absolutely his decision. But yeah, he can't play in the NBA regular season. I don't know whether it's his team, the NBA, or it's New York's actual rules, but whoever it is, yeah, he can't. I know they make loads of money, but that's his living, you know what I mean? It's a very dangerous precedent to set.
You're hearing stories, there's only 33% of Premier League players been vaccinated. It's
the whole
fucked
what sticks to me, like the governments and stuff, they want, it's always sports people who become like the scapegoat. It's 100%. Almost like they're trying to like paint this thing of, well, they're not doing it, you know what I mean? And that's, but as we said last week, sports our arena where we don't have to listen to that.
Exactly, stop bringing it to us. Yeah.
Keep away, I don't care.
Told you Mo Salah can fucking get 100 vaccinations or he can get none as long as he keeps fucking playing for Liverpool and scoring goals. I know.
They keep putting things out like Salah's signature move. I was like, just give us his signature, please.
His signature move wants to be that. on starting on the Redmen then, I don't know whether this is to do with fucking COVID again or just fucking stupid international breaks, which one of the questions was, do you need to be fucked off? I agree, they do need to be fucked off.
Absolutely.
Fabinho and Alisson are going to miss Watford, so the talk about going straight from South America to Spain to quarantine in Madrid, ready for the Champions League game.
Oh, what to do? Just stay in Madrid until we get there?
Yeah.
But that, like, obviously Liverpool, that's ridiculous, but the
Premier League don't cover themselves in glory because La Liga have scrapped 2 games this weekend because of players coming back from the Copa America, the South America thing.
The timing's all off anyway. Like
35 hours for Fabinho and Alisson are going to get.
If you're playing in South America, how can your team be in the 12:30 kickoff? Do you know what I mean? I know everyone, but why is there a 12:30? There's only a 12:30 kickoff because of broadcasting rights.
Well, it's because of the Champions League on the Tuesday.
Yeah, but why? Surely, like, obviously it shows that they only care for money. But surely when there's that sort of international break, everything should be 3 o'clock, shouldn't it? At least.
Well, yeah, Klopp then would argue though he wants an early one because of the Champions League.
Oh, what? Because then they're going on Tuesday?
I think, mate, and this argument, it pisses me off. Listen, I know they're on a lot of money, and I get that, but you could be on £1 million a day. You still can't play a game of footy every day.
You still get tired.
Do you know what I mean? And I think people go with maybe the old school, something like my dad would say, fuck them, they're on fucking £500,000 a week. Alright, you're great. It doesn't mean they can fucking run every day.
No.
They're not like computers, machines. They are human beings at the end of the day.
That lad at Leeds, Rafinha, didn't he? He had, I think all in all, he had 72 hours to play, get home, train, and play another game in 72 hours. Like,
they're running on average 10k, aren't they? 90 minutes, stop starting. Go and run 10k and try and do that every, couple of days. And not only do that, but have a great first touch and tackle and get knocked and,
And don't play bad or you get absolutely
hounded, yeah.
It's ridiculous, but...
I do think, mate, they are, and again, no one feels sorry for them because they are on that much money. But I think they do get a bit of a bum steer sometimes.
It's organisational, it's ridiculous. Why? There's no need for international games. There's a way, do qualification a different way. You don't have to have weeks in the season where you get taken out for international football. No other sport does it. I think, mate, if you're, these players are playing that well for the clubs all over the world, before the tournament, get them in a few weeks before the tournament. They've all been playing well because you're watching them every week. Just get them together. Maybe do a couple of 11-a-sides amongst the squad and change the teams you want and stuff. But I don't get why Gareth Southgate needs to see, Trent playing alongside fucking Jordan Sancho when Sancho might be playing well for United, Trent might be playing well for Liverpool. I don't know, I don't get it. I don't understand it, but there's a better way to do. Just do qualification on tournament performance. So your tournament performance then says if you qualify for the next tournament. And then when the next tournament comes around, do a camp where, a bit like what the NBA stuff do. You get invited to the camp. If you're good enough, you go to the tournament. If you're not, you go back home. Very simple. We don't have to be playing Andorra on a Tuesday night. No one.
No. On that kind of note, Dennis Barlow said, against kind of linked to this, in January Liverpool could lose 7 players for the African Cup of Nations.
Seen that but
do you think that's maybe one of the reasons he's kept hold of Origi?
Maybe, but yeah, it's probably a good shout. But I've seen it's like Brentford, Leicester, and Palace, isn't it? Liverpool.
I think regardless, though, mate, it's wrong.
And that's obviously if they go away, but yeah, it's like it's a big demand that to go and play a tournament and come back and join back into the league. As you say, it's a very reoccurring point. But if you want players to be at the best, you've got to give them at least a platform to be at the best. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the World Cup the same though, isn't it? Because the most money came from Qatar or wherever it was. It's in the middle of the season. It ends on Boxing Day or something. Or
Prem's back on Boxing Day. Just proves, mate, with the Saudi takeover that no one gives a fuck as long as the money is right. No one gives a fuck. Do they?
We've passed the human rights test. How the fuck did he? I mean, I've winged some tests in my life. That Newcastle thing is...
It's bizarre, isn't it?
It's bizarre, and it's going to be probably amazing for a little while, but it's just got that underbelly of
of just wrongness.
Yeah, what's going to happen,
And I think they've got a more pressing matters of yet they might have all this money and stuff, but they're actually not doing great at the minute.
No. Steve Bruce, he was like, yeah, I know my job's gone.
Has he come out and basically said that?
He said in his press conference, new owners usually want a new manager, so yeah.
It's going to cost them 8 million, isn't it?
Is it? Do you want to sack him?
Oh
my God, imagine him in that meeting. Right, Steve. No, please, no. Don't sack
Just give me another week, please. Not that it's going to bother them, 8 million, but...
No. But the man being Steve Bruce, though. He always clips from on Aldi and not dancing, isn't he? Steve Bruce will be in Dubai for 2 months.
Great, isn't it? So yeah, onto the footy. We've got some... the questions about the footy, it's probably all stuff we're going to talk on now, really. Mate, sad when I seen David Brooks, Bournemouth player, diagnosed with cancer.
Do you know what? Not to speak out of turn, but I'm sure there was another player who had another couple of players who had the exact same diagnosis of cancer. The guy who was at Samia, I think his name was Joel, or Joe Thompson or something like that. I think he had something similar. And it just seems to affect young people and obviously athletes for some
That's
reason.
what my mum had, leukemia. That type of, I think it's the similar one, yeah. It affects young people, yeah.
But I mean, the good thing is that I think the outlook is that if it's caught early, that he's got a great chance of...
You sometimes forget, don't you, that, again, a little bit like the money arguments, you forget that they're on this much money, they're famous, you forget that the normal people who can get cancer just like everyone else.
I mean, do you know what's mad? People are like, why is David Brooks not playing, or why is he not in the squad?
Yeah, he's fucking shite, and rumours go around.
Because, you don't just get diagnosed with cancer, do you? Obviously things have been sort of rolling for him for a while, but yeah, I think he's 24, is he, or something? Young.
Sad, isn't it,
hopefully full recovery, because he's a very talented player. Obviously full recovery is the main thing.
Yeah. I hope he recovers well.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, we sometimes think that they're these aliens that don't get ill.
Yeah. I know, mad. So yeah, make footy back this weekend. Start on Liverpool, Watford then maybe.
So this is the game for our bet mates.
Yeah.
Little promotion, isn't it?
So yeah, I'll be picking a 7-a-side side, which obviously won't involve Alisson, which I'm a little bit worried about.
Yeah. Who plays in goal? Kelleher or Adrian?
I think Adrian now. Well, good show, yeah.
I don't know who I'd rather, but I'm not seeing much of that Kelleher, to be honest, but Adrian just fills me with sheer anxiety.
Adrian's last game was the Atletico Madrid, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I was at that game at Anfield, and I think that was his last game anyway, and that was just...
like the pandemic one? Like I was at that game as well,
yeah.
Yeah.
We got back from Vegas and we went, didn't we?
Jesus Christ.
Look, I think Madrid was the so bad one at COVID there. I went to Madrid, then to Vegas, and then was at that game.
Yeah,
and then I was sick after it, to be fair.
Yeah, I had a terrible cough after. No, I shouldn't laugh, but yeah. So obviously he doesn't fill me with confidence, but just playing Watford doesn't fill me with confidence. I hate it.
And they got a new manager.
Yeah, it's a weird fixture for Liverpool, isn't it? Like
right.
Sometimes we've gone and won dead well. Like I think played on the first game of the season a couple of years ago. But like they beat us as well, didn't they? And like.
It's whether Ranieri has that, the new manager, new bounce thing, whatever they call it, like when he comes in.
We're a better team, obviously, but it's just, I don't know, it's one of them fixtures that I'm just never ever that confident about.
Yeah, I think we will win, but I think I wouldn't be throwing it in me accumulate. Well, it's Liverpool. I always think it's a bit of a banker with Liverpool, but the thing that does worry me is the international break as well. They're going to be coming from all over the show. Not that much training. A new manager for Watford. It's away. It's a 12:30 kick-off. They're always a bit. So, as that famous meme says, Mahatma Gandhi, don't back the early kick-off. So I might leave them out, even though I still think they will win.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, one of these games, it's just like, I think the players will probably think as well, just get through it, isn't it? Just get in here, get 3 points and just get off. The performance doesn't matter, got just win, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Win and keep it moving, because obviously there's a big Champions League game midweek against Atletico, no injuries and all that stuff.
Exactly. And yes, and get involved on the BetMate app.
Yeah,
pick your 5-a-side team, £3 to go, and then make sure you get involved in the free pot, because again, another couple £100 to be won.
Obviously the pot's £100, you can walk away with a few quid for nothing, but yeah, I think there's a good few fixtures, isn't there? Obviously Leicester, Man United, that's obviously a game to keep an eye on. I think United like evens away, aren't they?
Are they, yeah?
I mean, it's a bit like Gary Neville said with them, because these are the type of games where they'll probably go in and they'll win 3-1 or 3-0 or something, and everyone's like, oh my god, United are flying.
Yeah.
And they'll always have games like this where you're like, Jesus Christ, it's cliff. But
yeah.
the consistency with them is the problem, but yeah, I've not been impressed by Leicester, to be honest.
No.
They were lucky against Palace as well.
I seen fucking Rodgers, I thought it was a bit bold to come out and say I'm not interested in the Newcastle job, I'm basically going to get the City job when Pep goes.
Did he?
Well, I don't think he's come out and said that, but that's the kind of rhetoric in the media, yeah. As if Brendan Rodgers is getting that.
I don't mind Brendan Rodgers for the while. Liverpool, he was good, but I think Leicester's showing exactly what he is. They flatter to deceive. They look good. They sort of.
Well, he's won a cup, hasn't he? It's two charity community shield and the League Cup.
Just the other,
or might have been the FA.
When he played Palace the other day, everything's just dead nice. It's a bit like what we was. Everything's lovely to watch, but it's not really that.
Doesn't get over the line properly.
Yeah, you can get after them a little bit if I think they were 2-0 up, and then once Palace actually sort of put it on them a little bit, 2-2 before you know it, and that was the story of his time at Liverpool as well.
The game I'm looking forward to is Chelsea-Brentford. I think it'll, Brentford have, they've done us over with that draw. I think Chelsea have been flying. It'll be a good test.
I wouldn't back against Brentford at home,
No, I wouldn't be touching that game, no.
Because obviously, I love their stadium. It's quite enclosed, isn't it? But they're one of them teams. They're sort of, I don't know whether they might suffer with second season syndrome eventually, but they're quite free, aren't they? They're playing like we're in the fucking Premier League here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's just go for it. I think the manager comes across like that as well.
I think again we spoke about the negatives of them all, but it'd be interesting to see the price of Liverpool, United, and Chelsea, the treble, all away.
Yeah.
Again, I wouldn't feel when you say Liverpool, United, Chelsea. You normally think bankers most week. I wouldn't be saying they were bankers, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if there was 3 away wins there.
I fancy United to win. Obviously, I think Liverpool will win. I don't know how pretty it'll be, but that game just red flags for me. Brentford and Brentford Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea are a very good side. Obviously, they've got Lukaku, who can change any game, and obviously Tuchel's got them playing really good stuff. But Yeah, I don't know what it is with Brentford. They're just one of them teams, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I agree. And then on the Sunday, which is another fascinating game, I think two teams very similar, Everton and West Ham.
Yeah, really good game. Though.
Obviously, returning Moyes to Goodison. Moyes and Rafa going head to head again, which would be interesting to see.
One of my mates was saying today, Paul, he put a message in one of the groups saying that if Everton win, it's the best start in Premier League history. So.
Is it?
The points-wise.
Mate, Rafa has got them flying. I know we spoke about it last week, but I'm obviously, I'm not going to say a big fan of, Everton this season, but to the point where a couple more wins and I'll be nervous going into that derby.
Oh, mate, I will, because I think they're playing now in a way where they're not trying to please everybody. They're playing in a very effective way. Now I think the two midfielders, as a team, I'm not saying as individuals, but the two midfielders in Allen and Decore are as good a team, a centre midfield partnership as anyone in the league. Like the way they play together, they absolutely took control of that Man United game after a bit of a frantic 15 minutes. Obviously, they can keep Damari Gray playing, get Calvert-Lewin back fit.
That's what I mean. I don't think people are realising now the injuries that they've had, Everton, and yet they've still... I think the only bad result they've had is obviously they got beat by Aston Villa 3-0.
Yeah. Got
dumped out the cup. But aside from that, a draw away to Leeds, a draw away to United, they've won every other game.
I think that for the first time in many years, looking on the outside to Everton, they look like a team to me. Like they've got a way of playing now, or they're developing a way of playing, and they're all bought in. Every single player, like you've seen Damari Gray chasing that dead ball, like that was going on for a throw. He chased it, and then before you know it, it's a goal. You got Townsend on the other side, who people laughed at, myself included, but the way he gets through, and then he's popping up with goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got the two centre halves, Michael Keane playing well, Yerry Mina, stuff like that. As I touched on the two lads in midfield. I mean, the other kid coming, Anthony Gordon, again, grafted, nice little bit on the ball. And I think what Everton wanted, or majority of Everton fans, they wanted to move with the times and be like this lovely team and challenging for stuff. But I think they lost their identity a little bit.
Big time.
To get it back.
I've just seen there ahead of the game week, Everton have won more points from losing positions than any other Premier League side.
And that goes along with the rhetoric, doesn't it? Of they're a team now. They're not
fighting for each other.
They're not like a couple of individuals who were like, if we score a few goals, Everton might get a move. It's like a team, and that's a dangerous proposition for us teams that are perceived to be ahead of them in terms of the top 4, top 5.
Well, we're only at Liverpool, they're only a point ahead of Everton. And like I say, if Everton hadn't got beat by Villa there, they'd be right in the mix. So
the good thing about Rafa, isn't it? I mean, he's experienced enough to know. He's not trying to please. He's not. If you can, I think people can shout at him or say shit this or whatever. But he's got a way of playing, and he's long enough in the tooth, and he's got enough confidence in himself that he'll play that way. And Everton now are starting to look at it, most fans, and being like, might work this.
Yeah, I think a game like that, I'd be backing both teams to score and Everton win. Very kind of out of interest.
I think Everton will win. I really do. And then obviously moving on to that 4:30 game, Newcastle, be interesting to see the atmosphere there at St James's. Like a wee rocking, won't it?
Party atmosphere, mate. Yeah.
And to be honest, if I was Newcastle, I'd probably have picked. If you could pick an opponent, a decent team, Tottenham coming there, a bit of a hurt animal, so to speak. I reckon, I wouldn't be surprised.
Be watching out for Harry Kane having a Saudi Arabian businessman in his ear.
Yeah, Harry Kane, I've always wanted to play with him. I was saying that earlier, like the players they're going to get. The press conference is going to be hilarious.
It's going to be silly, isn't it?
I did have Bayern Munich, Liverpool, United and City after me, but I've always wanted to play for Newcastle United.
Just Mbappe there, yeah. I had Alan Shearer poster up in my room.
The reason I didn't leave last summer is because I was just waiting for Newcastle.
Yeah. The fact that they've offered me £17 million a week has got nothing to do with it, I promise.
I'm not here for the money.
Yeah, I love the Newcastle accent on the birds, that's what it is.
yeah, but good to see, good luck to them. I don't know how successful it's going to be, but good luck to them.
Have we got any boxing this weekend, have we? Any UFC?
Well, the UFC is a bit quiet. We've got a bit of a low-key, main event, but Danny Roberts, who's going to be on the podcast eventually, he's fighting.
Mr. Hot Chocolate?
Yeah, Hot Chocolate himself. Fighting Ramazan Emeev, who's a bit of a beast, to be honest, 20-4. Danny's 17-5. So yeah, that'll be a really good fight. I think Danny needs to win really, but he's pretty safe in the UFC at the moment. He's a good addition to that welterweight. I don't know, how far he's going to get up the rankings, but really good fight. I think it'll go the distance. Should be Yeah, solid fight, but another one of me heavyweight under 1.5 and 2.5s on here.
I love these.
Andrei Arlovski used to be the champ against Carlos Felipe, who's like looks fat but is an absolute banger. But yeah, this is, again, I don't know what, I haven't even checked it.
It's one of your fight predictions where it's going to last about 5 seconds.
I don't know if he's under 1.5, you know. The thing is, because a lot of the heavyweights, they're not like insanely skilled. The odds of Arlovski's evens, Carlos Felipe's 4-5.
Yeah.
Under 1.5 is 5-2. Under 2.5 is 13-8.
Okay.
And it's only a 3-rounder, but obviously they're thinking these two are going to duke it out, but it'll be over.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm getting on it.
Yeah, and then touching on, we briefly touched on it, but yeah, it's a Sky Sports show. Hughie Fury against Christian Hammer, which is a solid enough, you know, Hughie Fury's obviously the cousin of Tyson. Solid enough heavyweight fight. Not much on the card to get excited about, apart from Brad Rhea. And then Eddie's card is Mikey Garcia over in Fresno, California, against Sandor Martin. Who's like, Sandor Martin is from Spain, but when Eddie started putting on these Spanish shows, he was like the one that came through, do you know what I mean? There's obviously not a massive depth of talent in Spain, but he's the one that come through, and he's got a fight against Mikey Garcia, which is, you know, huge for him. Undercard's full of prospects really, but I think Mikey Garcia is 5-6 for the stoppage, so wouldn't go mad on it. It's not a, you know, a nailed on bet, but looking for a little accumulator booster this weekend. Mikey Garcia by KO, I reckon be a good one.
What is your bet for the weekend? Are you kind of nailing your, what's that saying? Nail it to your mast or something? What's that saying?
Nailing your flag to your mast.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm going to stick with Brad Rhea, even though we got 2-1. The sort of the prices.
Yeah, so when we were talking before about the little kind of special bit, little betting club, a little membership, this week Jordan goes, lad, what price are you getting there on 2-1? What price are you getting for the knockout? And managed to get 2-1, and he's 13-8 now. So,
yeah, so they're the type of thing.
They're the little things we'd be talking about and telling you to get on and stuff.
So yeah, Brad Rhea by KO, TKO, I think that's my bet of the week sort of thing. But yeah, I like the Mikey Garcia KO for a little coupon buster, and then Arlovski and Carlos Felipe. Yeah, you'll probably get a good price on fight to just not go the distance, but if you want to have a little chew on maybe, you know, small stakes under 1.5, and then, you know, average stakes on under 2.5.
I'm happy with the 2-1 because when you put your stakes on, and I just done the same and done it as well, so I followed suit.
Yeah. No, it's good to obviously get some questions in off people.
Yeah, loads of questions. It was good.
And obviously one of the lads asking when I started shadow boxing in the boxing, which shocking behaviour that. I was well behaved. You were
well behaved, mate. It was a ball, and again, it makes us gets me excited anyway for more live events with you, mate. We've got,
I think that's the plan. Yeah.
The racing's coming up as well soon. Aintree, Cheltenham, more boxing events and stuff. So at the match again and all that. So it's good. On my betting tip, I'm gonna put my selections in the comment in the description, because when I tipped it up last week, I'm very acutely aware that I've not had a footy bet come in yet. I've done a couple of these, 3 homes, 3 ways, and 6 for the roll up. So I'm going to study it today, and it will be out when the podcast is out. So get on that, 3 homes, 3 ways, and then the roll up. We try and get that in. Massive thanks again to Monterex, 15% off if you type in Leg It in checkout. Don't forget, have a go with the BetMate app. The link is also in the bio. There's a free pot there. And then R1 if you think you can better me and Jordan in picking a 7-a-side team. No doubt you will with me, but Jordan's seemed to have done better on it than me so far. It's £3 to go with a minimum £100 pot. Link is in the bio. And then else you want to finish on, Jordan?
No, mate, it's good to be back. Obviously, a few good weeks ahead. The UFC's got a couple of back-to-back pay-per-view events, so yeah.
Good stuff. I also very rudely said last week, does any women even listen to it?
Did see that?
They do, yeah. I'll have to go back on my messages to find out, but I'm sorry. Women do listen to the Sportcast, which I'm very grateful for, so thank you for the support. And yeah, hope you all have a boss weekend, and we will see you next week. Cheers.